It is now officially 5150 time!
What are we doing?
Oh yeah. This was at your suggestion. You wanted to do this Van Halen live without a net.
Live without a net. 1986. It was the first actual official sanctioned live Van Halen release. Even though, like, if you had MTV around those times, sometimes, occasionally, MTV would show clips of live performances of various bands, not just Van Halen. But occasionally, a clip of Van Halen would show up. But this was the first time they actually produced a video specifically for sell-through. I believe it was sell-through. And they sold them in music stores and video stores.
What is it? I didn't see that concert. I think I rented it on VHS at first, but then I eventually got the VHS from my video store when they were purging their tapes. I think it was Blockbuster I got it from.
Right.
And then,
right. The one we looked at was a DVD of it that was made, 2 years later or something?
Well, I got my DVD. Oh, I don't even know when the DVD came out. The DVD came out in, like, the 2000s.
Oh, for some reason there was a copyright that said 1988.
Well, that's probably when it hit home video, was 1988.
Let me see.
But then they probably aired it. They probably aired it on MTV a few times.
It said it was released November 24th, 1986. And it was recorded August 27th, 1986. So it was only recorded and then edited, put together very quickly for a quick sale. And because I remember my friend Derek had this on video because he was a big Van Halen fan at the time.
None of my cousin, I think he only had, because he's the one who got me into Van Halen. He had the Live Right Here, Right Now tape. He had the 2-tape set of that.
Right.
He had the VHS of that concert. That I remember he had. He didn't have Live Without a Net for some reason.
Did this seem as though it was kind of rushed into production because the record came out in March of that year? So that's April, May, June, July, August. That's 6 months. And then we get this video, and there weren't really any official music videos made for the album, which is kind of unusual because there were at least 3 videos for 1984. The only official or quote-unquote sanctioned video they made was this thing that was a jumble up of various shots
of Blue Angels,
jet fighters going by and playing Dreams. Yeah, that's really all they had.
Yeah, because they didn't actually do it. That was When It's Love, and then Finish When You Started had a video.
They had 3 or 4 videos, I think, for OU812. So, so I played it. I played it for the family. My daughter wasn't all that interested. In fact, she said it was too loud, and she's 14. And there used to be a thing that the Rolling Stones used to say: if it's too loud, you're too old.
I had no issues with the loudness of this concert. It was perfectly fine. I liked it when I saw it before we even suggested doing this.
It was, yeah.
Because it's
I think the first time I saw it was in 1986. 1986 or 1987. And I never saw it after that. So this was the first time I'd seen it in decades.
It'd been about 10 or so years since I'd seen it last. It's been a while. But it was a great concert, though. The only thing is, though, and I've never kind of liked this with Van Halen stuff, Michael Anthony's bass solos, those are a little bit too loud, and you can't really understand what the hell he's doing.
It was a little weird. Well, he was, it was interesting. It wasn't exactly Cliff Burton, but he was doing these weird kind of violin type things with the bass.
And
playing around with it,
And I'm not gonna say it took me out of it, but it was like, ugh, like I don't like bass solos. I really don't.
You're not big on that?
I'm not big on bass solos. Like, dude, I've seen Rush more times than I care to admit, and Geddy Lee, respectively, is one of the best, if not the best, bass players on the planet. But he always plays a couple of noodles when he's in his songs, right? You know,
Yeah.
especially when he's playing like YYZ, he's playing noodles, little couple of licks, but he doesn't go full out fucking bass solo. He leaves that up to Neil.
Well, he was doing okay. I think Michael Anthony. I mean, it's like he was playing the bass and then he was rolling it around. He was rubbing it up against his body and he was doing all kinds of crazy stuff. It was a very physical kind of a thing, but I guess it's the point in the show where you get up to use the bathroom, or you get up to get another beer or something like that.
And that's where Sammy, Eddie, and fucking Anthony, they go in the back and they have a beer and they chill. Eddie has a cigarette. Yeah. They let Michael do his thing.
Now, I did find it unusual, okay, that there were only 2 David Lee Roth era songs, but there were also the 2 Sammy Hagar songs, the ones he's best known for.
Right, and that it's not the fact that it's weird, it's the fact that they chose 2 David Lee Roth songs that would best fit Sammy's singing style. And if you look at it from that perspective, those 2 songs they picked fit his singing style perfectly.
He could, I don't know, they could have done You Really Got Me. I could have heard Sammy Hagar sing You Really Got Me. I could have heard him sing Pretty Woman. You know, I could have heard him sing, Well,
I think when they did Live Without a Net, I want to say they did You Really Got Me. I know for a fact they did Jump. It was just, they really tried limiting the amount of David Lee Roth stuff when Sammy was singing. They did a couple of select big songs, but they never really dug really deep, you know, into the David Lee Roth era when Sammy was singing for him. But at the same time, okay, you also have to pad out a concert because you literally only have 1 album worth of material to work with.
Yeah, but they really, I mean, they threw some stuff in there that I would never think you would get up. Like Get Up is an album song at best. It's something to, you know, it's like a placeholder song to get to the next one. It's not exactly a big hit song or anything, you know.
Yeah, I'm really shocked they didn't open up with Good Enough.
Instead, they open up with There's Only One Way to Rock, right? Summer Nights is great. I love that song. I love, you know, Best of Both Worlds is an okay song. Love Walks In, about aliens, and he even says it's about aliens, by the way.
But I like, one thing I like about Best of Both Worlds, and I agree with you, the song's like, it's a middle-of-the-road song, but I love how they perform it on stage. Just watching fucking Sammy, Alex, or Sammy, Eddie, and Michael just like doing the whole Breakfast Club strut across the fucking stage.
Yeah, that's right, and they did that at the end, too. Remember at the end of the show when they walk off the stage, they do the whole Breakfast Club strut again?
Yes, and that's like...
And Sammy Hagar, he dances.
The thing is why that concert is so great, you can really tell they, at that time, that place, that time in time, they all got along. They all loved each other.
Well, remember like what we were talking about when we talked about 5150, we talked about how Hagar like gave them a fresh infusion of blood. It was like being born again, in a way. It's the same band, but different. And so this show was so energetic. Because of it, they were running around and doing this crazy shit on the stage, and this enormous stage in New Haven, Connecticut, running around, doing cartwheels, and Hagar at one point, I forget where he is, he climbs all the way up into the rafters.
Yeah, that's when they start doing I Can't Drive 55
right.
And freaking Ain't Talking About.
Right.
And then they get down from the stage, and then they do Why Can't This Be Love? And then Rock and Roll from Led Zeppelin.
That's right. They finished up with a cover of Led Zeppelin, and again, here you have a golden opportunity to dig in for another Van Halen classic, even though they do a really great job with rock and roll.
They do. I mean, they could have ended it with Jump, or they could have ended it with Mean Street.
Wasn't Jump like a number 1 hit song?
It was. That was their own, at the time, it was their only number 1 hit. That's
like the weirdest thing. Why wouldn't they, acknowledge that? Unless they're really turning their back on David Lee Roth, and he doesn't. You know, there's also money comes into this too, because David Lee Roth gets paid every time they perform one of his songs. he gets residuals. So in this situation, there's only two.
So I guess they got to cut down on the songs they use, because then David Lee Roth's entitled to points off the gross.
Even though, I mean, does David Lee Roth get credit for the instrumental compositions? There's all of Eddie's solo is basically pieces of his guitar solos from other songs, right? And now we can talk about the true highlight of this video, which is what had everybody watching the day Eddie Van Halen passed on. People were watching the solo from this show because it is one of the most amazing guitar solos I've ever seen, and it incorporates so many different songs. It's bits of Mean Streets, it's bits of Eruption, it's bits of Cathedral, and it's all. Oh, and the song that they make a Van Halen track out of in For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge, right? What was it called? 386?
Yeah. Yep, or 316.
316. So he starts off with his little 316 bit, and anybody who went to a Van Halen show before would recognize it when they hear it on the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge album. And it is
because usually he played 316 and then he led into Best of Both Worlds with that.
Right. It's
that was on the later tours.
Now, if you've looked at, I mean, there's like a million reaction videos on YouTube right now, and you can go to YouTube right now, type in, I don't know, kids react to Eddie Van Halen guitar solo, and they're watching it, and they're absolutely speechless. And kids from everywhere, internationally, they have these children from the Dominican Republic, these 3 girls watching Eddie Van Halen's guitar solo, and they are absolutely captivated by it. They're blown away. They're looking at it like he's a witch, like he has supernatural powers with the guitar. And even my mom, I think my mother, when she first saw it a long time ago, she was like, "Oh my God, this is not a human being playing this guitar," you know?
Well, the weird thing about my old man, he liked Van Halen to a point. He hated David Lee Roth. He couldn't stand him. But my dad loved Sammy Hagar for some reason. I don't know what it was with Sammy, but my dad fucking loved him. He was an old man by comparison, but he fucking loved him.
My wife would be the opposite.
Anytime a Van Sammy, he'd crank it because he fucking loved Sammy.
My wife was probably the opposite. She preferred David Lee Roth to
my
Sammy.
My cousin is a closeted David Lee Roth, Sammy fan. Like you go to any show, he'll tell you, oh yeah, David Lee Roth, but like secretly, he loves Sammy.
Sammy, I guess, he's definitely more of a crowd pleaser, I would say. You know, they do all kinds of crazy stuff. He's an actual singer. He is an actual singer. That's true. Like I said, he's the hardest working white man in showbiz, and they do a lot. They I don't know. Somebody tosses their bra up on stage. Is that what happened?
Oh, and their purse, their shoes,
these weird slippers. You know.
One thing I noticed while watching this show, and this is not in any way, shape, or form to take it away from Sammy, but oh my God, while Sammy is a good guitar player, not hold a candle to fucking Eddie.
Well, no,
because you know the
Hagar's not a guitar god. He plays his own guitar, yes, and he provides a very essential piece because he gets to play rhythm guitar and create a fuller sound with the band. But no, he's not. The
only way where you know it's not like a full performance when they play Why Can't This Be Love. Eddie, of course, is playing on the synths.
Yeah.
And then Sammy's taking over on the guitar. Sammy, while he can play the rhythm parts without a hitch, when it comes to the soloing part, you can tell it's just like
of course,
okay, but it's not Eddie.
But you're comparing an ant to God, okay? It's just not possible.
I know.
There is no guitar player with the versatility and talent of Eddie Van Halen. There simply isn't. There are some really great guitar players out there, those that even model their performances and their technique after Eddie Van Halen. But
I mean, Young Lee Malmsteen's the only one I can think of who can play like Eddie. Even that or Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
I would think of people like, I don't know, Yngwie Malmsteen. I would think of Randy Rhoads. I would think of
that's what I just said.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Page, and I don't know, who was another really good one.
I said, dude, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, man. Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
And
Kenny
then
Wayne
you could go
Shepherd
back
is
further than
one of
that.
the
You could
best.
go to, like, say, Keith Richards. You could go, who the fuck is... Ace Frehley, Jimi Hendrix. You know, the thing is, they might have built on something, but Eddie Van Halen did something. Did he really truly invent the finger tapping style?
I tell you this much, if he didn't invent it, he's the one who perfected it and made it well known.
And the thing is, when you're watching the guitar solo, this guitar doesn't really seem like a musical instrument. It seems like a body part.
It is. It's an extension. It's an extension of himself. I was just going to say that.
Yeah, it's like
the guitar on Eddie
Ash
Van
and his
Halen is an
chainsaw. It's
extension.
just a part of his body, and he's just playing it, you know. And he makes it look so fucking easy, you know.
And of course, you know, he cigarette right on the fucking neck. Take a couple of drags and still keep playing while it's in the neck.
Yeah, he puts and all the kids were
It's Eddie's
commenting on that
signature.
too.
That was his signature move.
Yeah, and also blowing smoke rings and stuff. But it was I
was at least lucky enough to witness that one time. I was glad to see him play once.
I got to see him. I was very
Seen him
fortunate.
play more times than that, but
His when I saw him on the what was it? The Van Halen 3 tour with Gary Cherone. He did do a guitar solo, but it was not that intricate. You know, he didn't run around and he wasn't
nowhere near.
He wasn't improvising as madly as he did on this video. Maybe it's just I don't know. It was kind of it was a top-heavy show anyway. It was it's a very long show. It was over 2 hours, I think. Eventually, even after all the encores. This one was a lot shorter.
Yeah, this one was about an hour and a half, 2 hour show. I figured it was damn near a 2 hour show, but they edited a few things out just for pacing reasons, that kind of stuff.
Do you now when you saw the Van Halen 3 show, do you remember anybody opening for the band? Because I don't remember anybody opening.
Yeah, guess who opened for him?
Who did? Who was it?
Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
Oh, Kenny. Well, I don't know. I don't remember seeing him. I just remember the band just sort of starting up, and that was it.
No, they played. That was Alpine Valley, 1998. That's when what is it? Alpine Valley. Was it 97? No, it was 98. Alpine Valley, my junior year.
It might have been 1998 or 1997.
Yeah, it was September 98, Alpine Valley, my junior year of high school. I remember.
Well, we saw it at Madison Square Garden, but I don't remember anybody opening. It's funny. Maybe
because it was a bigger venue. Maybe Eddie just played it on his own. I don't know. But ours was an outdoor amphitheater, so it was kind of like, and you needed an opening act around that time.
Well, who opened for them at this show? Is there a list of opening bands? I'm not even
Probably Dokken. I want to say it might have been Dokken. It was a hair metal. I can tell you right now, if anybody opened up for Van Halen, it was a fucking hair metal band. Let me find out. I can type it in on Wikipedia. All I gotta do is type in 5150 tour.
I'm looking at it right now, but I can't see anything.
I'm just looking.
This is rock and roll. Fuck me! I'll just.
Okay, it says right here. It says right here. Canadian rock legends BTO, Loverboy, and Kim Mitchell opened a few days in Rochester and Buffalo.
That's where I see that. Okay.
And were support acts on many of the outdoor stadium gigs in North America. So there you go. So it was nobody big.
Loverboy.
I guess. Okay. Okay. BTO. They were Loverboy was at the apex of their career. Kim Mitchell, I've never heard anything about. BTO, I only know because of my mother. So,
to the part about working overtime. Working overtime.
Like I said, get to the working overtime part.
None of the new crap. Just do that song.
Oh, it says right here. They did play Jump on tour. It says right here. It says Jump cut from set list after May 14th.
Well, let's see.
And Good Enough
Where
was
were
on
they?
the. Okay, they did play Good Enough. That wasn't on the. That was not on the DVD or the concert. And then Dreams they played on tour, but it says they didn't include it until after May 16th. So after they cut Jump, they included Dreams because Dreams was probably on the radio around that time.
It says here they played.
Oh, and they opened it up with You Really Got Me.
Oh, that's interesting, right? And now, but it's not on the video. They probably even shot it too.
Yeah, I hate it when they do that because it's just like what is it? One of my favorite Genesis shows, the Mama Tour. The DVD opens up with Mama, But
Right.
then they actually opened it up with Dodo. And like Dodo's a fucking jam, and that sucks why they didn't, open up the concert video with Dodo. They should have opened that up with You Really Got Me. That's shitty.
Well, I will say they did play 3 nights in
We
Philadelphia.
just mentioned it. We just mentioned.
They played 3 nights in
Okay.
Philadelphia, August 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Spectrum. And that was on the second leg. But they started the tour in Shreveport, where the fuck that is. It looks like they started down south. They started down south, worked their way up. And they were in your neck of the woods around April of 1986. Hello, were you there? Hello. Uh-oh.
I muted myself. That's my bad.
Okay.
I said my cousin, I don't know if he would have been at that show. He was 11 at the time. I don't know if he was like that crazy into Van Halen around then.
Probably not. Probably too young. His parents wouldn't have let him go.
Oh, his dad, my uncle? Oh, he was crazy. He would have took him.
No, really?
I went to my first concert when I was 14.
I think the first rock concert I ever went to was probably son of a bitch. Well, actually, my
Well, mine was.
To be fair, I was in my mother's womb, and my mother went to California to see the Rolling Stones in Anaheim. So technically, that might have been my first rock concert. But after that, I think the first show I went to was 1990. I went to the whatever the venue was in East Rutherford. Oh, it was the Brendan Byrne Arena, right? Brendan Byrne Arena. I saw the Kiss Hot in the Shade tour.
Sticks for the Return to Paradise tour, 96. Then 97, Aerosmith. 98 Van Halen.
After that, I
Then
saw a bunch of stuff. I saw Kiss. I saw the Clash of the Titans in Madison Square Garden. That was Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, with Alice in Chains opening, and I saw Marilyn Manson, and that was the tour that he was supposed to go out on with Hole, and they backed out, so they got this other band called Monster Magnet.
And they were only Monster Magnet was okay. They had like 2 good songs.
They were okay, but they were not a good fit for Marilyn Manson to be opening up. It's kind of like when I forgot ZZ Top or Guns N' Roses opened for ZZ Top or some shit. It's like it's not quite right.
One of my favorite ones, Afghan Wigs opened up for Aerosmith in '99. Did
those two go together?
No, Afghan Wigs does not fucking go with Aerosmith.
It's like Coke and Pepsi.
Another one. So you're not a big metalhead. So I went to a metal show about I want to say 11 or 12 years ago. It was Slipknot, Trivium, and Coheed and Cambria. Coheed and Cambria was the one band that did not fucking fit in.
Okay.
But I was happy to see them because they're like a Rush band. Like they are Rush to the nth degree. They are the most craziest fucking progressive rock band out there.
That's what I was going to say. It was kind of like Rush's progressive rock, but Rush opened for a bunch of hard rock. I mean, Rush opened for Kiss,
Yes.
Rush and Kiss don't go together at all. There's a lot of things
you
that
get
don't
so
go
many
together.
off bands opening up for good bands. It was just like Coheed and Cambria is a great band, but they didn't need to be opening up for Slipknot. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like when I saw the Kiss Hot in the Shade show,
didn't need to open. Afghan Wigs did not.
When I saw the Hot in the Shade show, I think
Who
Kiss
opened for them?
It was Slaughter and Winger. So it was like
that fits.
A couple
That
of
fits.
hair bands. It was a couple of hair bands opening for them.
That fits. It fits totally.
All right, so we should probably wrap up Live Without a Net. Like I said, really, it was a lot of fun to watch. I must make a special plea. We were talking about Warner Brothers Archives earlier, right? I must make a special plea to Warner Brothers. Please transfer this video to Blu-ray because it was shot on film, and it could probably do with a nice transfer.
It was shot on film.
And it wouldn't be that much you'd have to do either. Just find the negatives and just do it, man.
Yeah, find the negatives,
rip open
go
Eddie Van
back,
Halen's
and just
ball.
rescan them.
Yeah. And just put this thing out on Blu-ray because it's really begging for it. And also put added scenes, put in You Really Got Me and Jump. I want to see all that,
Yeah, put up the whole show. If you film the whole damn thing, do the whole thing. If Peter Jackson could put together fucking Let It Be, I think it wouldn't be that hard to put together a Van Halen concert.
How about they get like fucking like Sammy and Alex and Michael for a commentary?
Good luck with that. Sammy and Mikey, maybe. Good luck getting Alex.
Yeah. Well, one can hope, can't they?
Alex
Actually,
always,
they should really put this
by
out.
the way,
though.
you know what I wanted to tell you? There was the Rush connection. Remember how we were talking on the last podcast about management, how they switch managers and everything like that?
Yeah.
It was Ray Daniels. It was fucking Rush's manager.
That took over for Ed Loeffler?
Yes, it was Ray Daniels who took over for Ed Loeffler, and Ray Daniels was the one who they said caused the fucking rift in the Sammy and fucking Eddie camp.
Huh, that's unusual. Well, wasn't it that guy? Did Alex Van Halen marry that guy's daughter or something?
I think it may have been, yeah, because he was married to Ray Daniels' daughter or something like that.
And like
Ray Daniels was a family member.
She seduced him into the dark side. So there you go.
Which is kind of sad because it's like, dude, he's Rush's manager, and he's been their manager from literally inception to the end.
Right. And Ed Loeffler,
he did Rush no wrong.
With very few exceptions, his life was Van Halen. And what's more, he was the one who put together this deal to make this live video. His name's all over the credits. I mean, Yes Up Productions produced it and controlled it, too.
Oh, well, but at least we got that out of the way to get that confusion. I said Irving Azoff, but I knew it was somebody big, and then I read it up, and I'm like, oh, it was Ray Daniels. Okay, I know who that is.
Just but another money-hungry.
It's still a great concert.
At least it's not Doc McGee. Doc McGee is the guy who destroys bands, mainly.
No, I thought that was Phil Spector.
No, well, there's a difference between destroying them financially and destroying them with a gun. Didn't he hold a gun on Joey Ramone and force him to sing one time?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
But
Phil, what are you doing? Put the gun down.
Between him and Yoko Ono, I'm not surprised the Beatles fucking broke up. Okay?
Yeah.
Because, like, after they did fucking Let It Be, they're probably like, dude, I don't want to make more. I don't want to make albums anymore. Fuck this shit. I don't want to be the Beatles anymore. It's like, this motherfucker broke us.
Actually, Phil fucking destroyed End of the Century. It's unlistenable.
Yeah, it's a terrible fucking album. It's a wall of sound. It's fucking horseshit.
For a band that already is its own sound, you know?
I mean, dude, you want to hear you hear the A and B. You hear Ed Stasem's fucking Rock and Roll High School mix, and then you hear fucking what's his fucking nutses? What do I just said?
Phil Spector.
His name, Phil Spector. Thank you. You hear Phil Spector's fucking mix of that song. It's terrible.
I know.
It's absolutely atrocious.
I know. It is terrible. But you know what? It's not terrible. Live Without a Net.
No,
featuring,
not terrible at all.
Van
Great
Halen.
show.
So we're going to take a little break after this, thankfully. I need a few weeks because I got to edit some shit. I got like 3 things that are backed up on me and I got to edit. But next time, I'm sorry I belched while I was talking. Tried to swallow that one. Sorry. But we will return with OU812. And that is my favorite Sammy Hagar album and not Frelick's. So that'll be an interesting argument / discussion.
No, it won't be, and I won't argue with you. I'll just counterpoint you a little bit. Have you call me an ignorant slut and whatnot.
Just don't call me an ignorant slut, dude. I love this record because I have a special connection to it, which I'll talk about when we get to that. But for now, I'm David Lawler.
And I'm John Frelick.
And we'll see you at the music. And
yes, not at the movies. Not at the movies.
And as Sammy Hagar would say, goodbye, baby.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Good night, everybody.
That really hurts my throat. Good night.